You already know that you're God. You already know that you are source. You already know that you're an individualized expression, a localized point of experience of the all that can be, that everything you see on the external is a 3D rendering of the internal substance of what you've assigned to be the truth of your life through the power of your I am and your frequential attunements. You already know all of this, yet you're wondering, where's my stuff? Why hasn't reality changed? Why do I still feel so off? Why aren't things working out? Why does it seem like maybe even in some areas of my life, that maybe the areas that I want to change the most, they seem to be going in the opposite direction? Well, today I want to talk about the word because. Because I was late today because of traffic. My name is Lucian St. James. I am a divine embodiment coach. I thank you for co-creating this moment here with me on the Ministry of Assumption Absolute. In today's transmission, we're going to talk about the word because. Think about that. Break that down. Because. I was late today. This is just an example. I was late today because of traffic. Because. What we're saying is that the source of what I'm saying before, the source of what I'm describing is the after effect of what I'm stating is because of. So I'm late today. Why was I late today? Because the being of that cause was due to traffic. You have to be the cause of the reality that you wish to experience, because it's already here and it doesn't need to be a wish. If you're wishing and hoping and praying, hoping is actually incredibly destructive to your, I won't even call it manifestation process, because ministry mantra, no one needs to teach you to manifest. You're manifesting at every single moment. However, we're talking about directing our attention through the state of our assignments, and those assignments being conscious, those assignments being chosen. Most of us are operating through a level of conditioning, or as Bob Proctor would call it, a paradigm, and understanding of self and the world through our subconscious ideas that have coagulated into habits, that we're operating under a paradigm or under an understanding of the world, a program that we didn't choose. So what we're talking about here is not how to manifest, but how to operate under the truth that you're already all of it, but what you've been assigning as the source, your because, is the reason that it feels like you're at the effect of everything. Like you just have to continue to tolerate circumstances that are not your fulfillment, are not a representation of the wholeness, of the freedom, of the joy, of the abundance that you're feeling like you're seeking. You're watching the videos and you're taking courses and you're reading books and you're trying to figure out, what do I need to do to make it click? You have to be the cause. Reality is the effect. The circumstance is the consequence of what? Your being of cause. You are the being of cause. I was late today because of traffic. What I'm saying is that I was late due to the source of that lateness being traffic. So you be the source. I mean, that word that we use, oh, it's because of this. What we're doing is, I mean, even in language, I'm saying I think the English language is really kind of a spell, a curse, a hex. You know, we have this word because, even to assign the source of different realities, different versions of reality that we experience. We're taught to use external events to describe experiences of internal being, of our identity, of how we're living in the world. So you be the cause. You make a decision. And let's talk about what a decision is. A decision is a choice to eliminate other options. Some of my most powerful manifestations came to me prior to even knowing about any of this. I've been doing mindset work and getting degrees in various different domains of mental wellness over the last decade. And when I look back, the things that came to me the easiest were the things that I just decided were the case, and I just didn't pay attention to anything else. Or I was working with a client today, and he was discussing some various challenges, and I said, well, what do you want? And he told me what he wanted. I was like, then let's make a decision. And he's like, what do you mean? And I said that a decision is a choice to eliminate all other options. I said, so we're going to make the decision to move in the direction of that which you want. And we don't know the how. We don't know the how, but we're going to occupy the state of that decision, already being at the end of that decision, already being at the end of that story, already being the identity that has that which he desired, which he had proclaimed, and as I asked him to identify as a first step. And I said, okay, and being in the end of that decision, what do you feel like you need to do? Now, you don't need to do anything, but, this was really a process of problem solving in some ways. And he's like, well, if I already had this thing, this would probably be the first step, is just making these calls. He's like, because I've just been so afraid because I didn't feel like it was possible for me. I said, so we'll make the calls. I said, and we're not accepting no. We're not accepting no. So you make the decision. The decision is a choice to eliminate all other options. So there's no other option for me other than I'm loved, or that I'm an expression of freedom, or that I am safe, that I am secure, that I'm already whole. There's no other options. This is who I decide that I am. So I am whatever you state after that. I am fulfillment. I am attractive. I am love. I am joyful. I am charismatic. We're not accepting anything else besides that reality. That doesn't mean that you're going to be elated or excited or that you're going to have these grand emotional experiences all the time, but we're not accepting anything else being the version of life that we're experiencing. That's just it, or talking about like living in the end. So you make the decision, you decide to be the essence of the cause. And in being the essence of the cause, what you're deciding is to live in the state of the seed. So the seed of abundance is not the seed of anything else. The seed of the mustard, the mustard seed, that reference in the ancient text, that have the faith of a mustard seed. That it doesn't mean like, believe in small things can become bigger things, as it's often taught. It means that a mustard seed knows that it's a mustard seed. It knows that, in its mustard seedness, it's only going to be a mustard seed. And that mustard seed is eventually going to be a tree. So when you decide to be the cause of that which you choose to experience, that that's a seed. That reality will unfold through the appearance of time, and again, the appearance of time, the illusion of time, in this separated format of a 3D rendering, the screen of consciousness that we're living in. But that will be the case eventually, that these circumstances, that they're passing, that they're temporary, that they're transitory, that they're always moving, and then I don't have to do anything with that. If I've decided to be love and I'm around people that are not showing me that version of reality that I have chosen for myself, then I don't need to do anything about that. I don't need to correct them. I don't need to chase them. I don't need to beg them. I don't need to dismiss them. That's a version of reality that I no longer am writing my name on. We're not fixing and trying to argue with or negotiating with versions of reality that do not represent the state of the new decision. So you make the decision and you live there, and because you're being the cause, you have to know with absolute certainty that the effect will reveal itself. The reality has, like, that's already the process that's happening. We're not talking about new things. We're just remembering a method, a process. I mean, because I can't even tell you the how. Nobody can tell you how exactly these things are going to fold out. But these are, this is the ancient truth, the hidden truth that we're taught to worship external circumstances. I mean, that's what I believe true devil worship is, or true satanic worship is. It's not people in coats talking about free love or whatever it is, coats, robes. I don't view that it's that or Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible. I mean, that's religious Satanism, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that what I view true Satanism as is this type of loyalty to the material that out there is going to give me the permission to feel what I want to feel in here, that I'm not going to feel abundant until I have a certain number amount in my bank account, that I'm not going to feel loved until I have a certain amount of friends or a certain relationship, that I'm not going to be free unless I have all of my circumstances that are aligned in my reality. So, and it's not to dismiss the power of circumstance, it's just the power of circumstance is not the source. The power of circumstance is the consequence. You are the being of cause. You have to be the new cause. And when you know that you're source, and this really is, it is a self-knowing, it is a gnosis. I can talk at you all day long. All of these people here can talk at you all day long. It has really nothing to do with people talking at you or even acquiring new knowledge. There's nothing that's going to make it click. When you know that you are source, when you know that you're source, I mean, it's already happening. I mean, look around, everything around you. Now, by the time it manifests, by the time it materializes, rather, because the manifestation is instant, by the time it materializes, it's already dead, it's already gone, but you created that. And it's not to blame yourself, not to fault yourself, but what you're seeing is the evidence, is the external evidence of your internal substance, what you say to be the case, what you know to be true, and what you know to be true is what you've been conditioned to know is the truth, because there's infinite parallel realities all happening at once. So what the truth is, whatever you assign it to be, and how you see yourself operating within the context of that script. What is the character that you're playing? What is the state of your I am? Who are you being within the context of those circumstances that you believe are never going to change, because you've assigned the state of source to circumstances that are actually the effect, that are actually the consequence. The circumstance is the tree that grew. You planted the seed of whatever the substance or the fruit of that tree is. The tree does not just randomly there. So you have to be the cause, and you don't have to persist. You don't have to hold on. You just decide to stop accepting. You decide to stop negotiating. You decide to stop accepting anything else. This is what I say. This is who I say I am. This is what I accept in my reality. This is what I know to be the case. And you repeat that as many times as you need to, which can look like a process of reprogramming. Because to decide it once for one video, for one meditation, for 10 minutes, for 10 seconds, is probably not going to be enough to quote unquote impress the subconscious mind. Now, not that, we're focusing on that, but making one decision once is not going to be enough for you to believe in yourself that you have truly shifted states. So it's not about you needing to do anything, but if you do one exercise, one meditation, one scripting event, and then go back to entertaining negative bullshit and the old programming and the old script and the old conditioning and talking to people that are telling you it's not possible and paying attention to the source and getting emotionally involved and emotionally entangled with the circumstance and believing that the circumstance is source. I don't know what I just said. Then what you just did for that 10 minutes, I mean, you essentially just canceled it out. So it's just staying there. It's just staying there. You don't have to, meditate and script all day, but you do need to stay there. I mean, it's really a matter of just deciding, like, I'm not going to fight with it anymore. I'm not fighting with reality. I'm going to see what I see out there, and it can be what it is. I don't have to do anything about that, because that's not where I live. One, that's already dead. It's a meal that's already cooked. It's already happened. And two, I don't assign that as the truth of my reality, because I am the source. I am the being of the cause. My job is to stay being the cause regardless of what I see. It will manifest. And it's knowing that. It's knowing that you're sourced so deeply that it has no choice but to manifest. So you're not waiting, you're not wishing, you're not hoping, you're not praying, you're being, and eventually you will see the evidence of that being. Starting off with today's transmission of the Ministry of Assumption Absolute. Again, I thank you for co-creating this moment with me. My name is Lucian St. James. I am a divine embodiment coach. Remember to be good to yourselves and others, because everybody's just a version of you anyway. Until next time.